Hello, and welcome to This Explainer. If you've ever found yourself lying awake at 2 a.m., just staring at the ceiling and wondering if you're making the right long-term life choices, well, you're absolutely in the right place. Today, we're going to look at one of the oldest crossroads in human history, the choice between stepping into a marriage or embracing a life of solitude. But we're not just looking at this through a philosophical lens, we're looking at it through a deeply biological one. I'm so glad you're here to explore this with me. Because honestly, making sense of this dilemma is one of the most profoundly human things we can do.
Okay, let's dive into this. It is incredibly common to feel this overwhelming sense of anxiety when you're facing massive life decisions, like whether to marry or stay single. We look around, we weigh the pros and cons, and so often we just end up paralyzed, terrified of making a mistake, right? You might be waiting for some magical sign or a guarantee of uninterrupted happiness, but let me challenge the entire premise of that expectation.
Section 1. The Myth of Perfection and Demystifying That 100% Expectation.
Listen, we're all caught in this trap of seeking flawless outcomes in what is an inherently flawed world. To put it bluntly, and the data backs this up, if we look at the actual benefits, marriage offers about 51% of life's advantages. On the flip side, bachelorhood offers about 49%. Think about that margin for a second. It's razor thin. Our real problem isn't necessarily choosing the wrong path. The problem is that we demand 100% happiness from either one of them. We expect total fulfillment, but reality operates on this tight 51 to 49 split. Once we accept that we're only ever choosing a very slight majority of benefits, that heavy pressure of perfection, it really starts to fade.
Moving right along to Section 2, Biology Behind Life Choices, the Silent Forces.
This is where it gets wild. That internal conflict you feel between freedom and connection, it's not just philosophical. Actually, scratch that, it's literal chemistry. Our thoughts and our decisions are constantly under the silent influence of the hormones released in our bodies. Let's look at the first group of these silent forces, oxytocin and endorphins. These hormones are actively pushing us toward the social and familial aspects of life. They're the biological drivers behind our deep, primal need for human connection, for bonding, and for building a family unit. When you feel a sudden, warm desire to share your life with someone or to nurture a child, that is oxytocin at work, fundamentally wiring you for companionship.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that our biology doesn't just push us in one single direction. Hormones like serotonin, testosterone, and estrogen are crucial biological regulators that influence our mood, our drive for independence, and our everyday decision-making processes. Diverse hormone profiles within us can actively drive our competing desires to stand completely alone, to hit personal goals, and to seek out a highly independent solitary life. So, when you feel totally torn between settling down and roaming free, remember, it's literally just your biology having a debate with itself. Whichever hormonal pole benefits you the most is often the path you lean toward, which means inevitably you have to compromise on the rest.
Section 3, Solitude versus Marriage Trade-offs, Embracing the Reality.
Understanding these chemical forces lets us look at our choices so much more clearly, because every choice requires embracing a specific set of trade-offs. On one hand, remaining single offers profound peace. Imagine waking up on a Saturday morning with zero obligations, a quiet cup of coffee, and total autonomy over your day. It's a peaceful, low-responsibility life. But on the other hand, marriage brings high challenges, mixed with the immensely rewarding thrill of conquering life's hurdles as a team. You really have to choose. Do you want a peaceful existence without the heavy lifting, or do you want the thrill and the struggle of conquering life's hurdles alongside someone else? Both are completely valid, but they are mutually exclusive realities. And here's a fascinating quirk about how society actually talks about these trade-offs. Married folks are notoriously loud about their struggles, the lack of sleep, the chaotic schedules, all the constant sacrifices. But what often goes totally unsaid is the indescribable joy of a child falling asleep on your chest. Even the greatest wordsmiths literally cannot adequately describe that biological euphoria or the deep, unspoken assurance of having a committed partner navigating life right there with you. The difficulties are easy to vocalize, but the profound chemical joy is something that just has to be experienced firsthand. Section 4. The Healing Power of Touch, Biology's Greatest Medicine. And this brilliantly illustrates that regardless of our fierce desire for independence, we all eventually face moments of profound physical and emotional vulnerability. Imagine having ultimate freedom and abundant money. Sounds like the dream, right? But contrast that with a simple, vulnerable experience of lying in bed with a severe fever. In that moment of weakness, a partner's touch or the affection of a child provides this profound sense of relief.
While independence and financial freedom are fantastic, physical closeness naturally acts as a healing agent that money simply cannot buy. The source text captures this so beautifully. The unspoken assurance of knowing you are there, the physical touch of a spouse, or the affection of your children, this is nature's greatest medicine. In times of extreme sickness or intense stress, that connection provides a profound emotional security that often works so much better than any clinical doctor's treatment. We are social creatures at our core, and comfort is biologically wired right into our physical connections. Section 5. Decision-making field research. Let's look at a practical checklist.
If you are truly stuck, it's time to step outside your own head and put this decision-making checklist to work. Step 1. Find 10 people who have lived the bachelor life for at least 30 years. Step 2. Find 10 people who have been married for 30 years. Step 3. Interview them. Really listen to their lived realities, their regrets, and their joys. Hearing directly from folks who have actually walked the path long-term is absolutely the best way to truly understand those trade-offs before making your own big decision. Go out and do the field research.
Section 6. Finding meaning through gratitude. Anchoring your choice.
To weather the storms of whatever path we ultimately choose, our lives really must be firmly grounded in meaning. No matter which lifestyle you select, certain core values are just required. Empathy, sacrifice, and especially showing gratitude towards your parents who gave you life. These are often vastly underrated virtues today, yet they are the very foundation for living a meaningful life. Plus, you have to accept that compromise is inescapable. The rules of nature apply to everyone equally. Literally, no one escapes trade-offs. From a completely average person to a sitting president, everybody has to make compromises. Building that foundation of empathy and gratitude keeps you anchored through all of those inevitable adjustments. So the crucial point is that we shouldn't take our personal dilemmas too seriously, because we might just be part of a much larger system. There's this fascinating thought that the current generation's widespread hesitation around marriage might actually just be nature playing a game to balance out the Earth's surging population. Nature's laws apply universally, and sometimes our deepest personal anxieties are just biology working on its grander scale. No single theory holds 100% of the truth, and that's okay. Which brings us to our final thought. Life is not about choosing the perfect option, but living the chosen path meaningfully. The 100% perfect choice is a complete myth. There's only biology, trade-offs, and what you decide to build with them. So the question isn't whether you'll face hardship. You will, for sure. The real question is, whose hand do you want to be holding when the storm finally hits? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep asking questions, keep doing your research, and I'll see you next time.
Some stories entertain us, but some stories change the way we think. Watch more powerful stories that teach business and life lessons only on Creative Subbu YouTube channel.